Let's have a quick reality check. And I just want you to take a deep breath. All right. Take a deep breath because everything is going to be okay. So, what does educational technology look like in a primary school setting? And what should it not look like? So we're kind of doing a comparison here. So what is primary technology and what should it actually be in a primary classroom? All right, so in primary classrooms, EdTech is not using devices in every lesson every day. No, no, no. I myself, I love EdTech, but I know that you cannot use EdTech in every lesson every day. That is just not possible. It is also not sustainable. It is also not great for every single student. So using devices in every lesson every day is not good practice, even in the primary classroom, a secondary classroom, in pretty much every aspect of life. In primary classrooms, EdTech is not replacing hands-on, play-based, or explicit teaching. EdTech is a tool to support learning. It is not there to replace all of those traditional hands-on, play-based, explicit teaching moments that we have employed for many, many years. All right, so don't think that EdTech requires you to replace that. No, no, no. In primary classrooms, EdTech is not expecting students to master complex tools. So if you've got a young cohort, you've got a young group of students in your class this year, they are learning, they are growing. They are not going to be expected to master complex tools in the same capacity as you or I, who are educators of varying experience and years of teaching and things like that. So we need to make sure that they are going to be able to access educational technology in a way that is accessible for them. So they should not be expected to master complex tools in a primary school environment. And finally, our last reason why primary classroom EdTech is not, it's not about adding more work to an already full plate. We don't want to be adding more and more and more. If you're a primary school teacher, you know that you already have a lot of things to do. And from an Australian context here, I really appreciate our primary school teachers. I'm obviously a high school teacher, so I am very focused. I'm teaching one subject area that I love and know, so I've got that particular focus. In a primary school here in Australia, you are teaching every single KLA, which is a key learning area, across your week. You might have some support with other specialists that come in, but essentially you are teaching more than one subject area. So we don't want to add more work to that plate when it comes to EdTech. So EdTech in primary classrooms is not about adding more to your plate. It's about making sure that we can create and do something that is sustainable. So what does primary classrooms EdTech actually look like? This is what we want to have a look at. So in primary classrooms, EdTech it is a tool to support and enhance learning. Keywords there, a tool. It is not there to replace things that we have been doing for many years. It is a tool. It is there to assist our students, to support them, to enhance their understanding, to grasp those concepts, to venture out into brand new worlds and thinking and being creative and being collaborative and communicating. So it is a tool. In primary classrooms, EdTech is a way to build foundational digital skills over time. So we're not going to start out there and say, hello, kindergarten, welcome to your first day. I would like you to write a 500-word paragraph about no. Our kindergarten students are just learning to read and write and communicate. There's so many things that they need to learn before they can do that. I'd be expecting maybe a high school student to be able to do that, but not a kindergarten student. So we want to make sure that those foundational digital skills are developed and built up over time. So we might start small, continue to move and grow that as we move through the different year groups, but we want to have those foundational digital skills being built over a sustained period of time. In primary school classrooms, EdTech is an opportunity to increase engagement, accessibility, and inclusion. So Every student that we teach is different. Every single student in our classes has different interests. They might look at different things and they have different ways of accessing learning. Now, yes, it's not possible to have 30 different learning plans and 30 different worksheets and 30 different activities for our students every single day for every single lesson. That is not sustainable and definitely not what I am telling you to do. What I'm suggesting is we need to look at how we can increase that engagement, that accessibility and inclusion. And that might be replacing something that we have traditionally done with pen and paper or pencil and paper and somehow incorporate some kind of technology aspect into that particular learning activity. So we need to look at how we can actually take things that we're doing now and use that as an opportunity to increase engagement, to increase that accessibility for our students, but also inclusion. Because as we've mentioned, every student is different. They have different skills, abilities, understanding, capacities, competencies, interests. We need to make sure that we are catering for that somehow throughout the school day so that every student is able to be successful. And finally, in primary classrooms, EdTech is something that can be used occasionally, intentionally, and flexibly. So we've just talked about that in the previous dot point here, but you don't have to be using EdTech all the time. It is something that we might use occasionally for a very intentional purpose, and we need to make sure that we are flexible with our approach. So EdTech is something that can support, it is a tool, it is a way to build those foundational skills in the classroom, and it is definitely not replacing those traditional methods. It is there to support, it is there to guide, it is there to enhance what we are doing in the classroom. So just remember that there is purpose behind using educational technology. And we are definitely not saying what you have been doing is wrong. We're saying, how can we mesh these together so that our students are the beneficiaries of these wonderful new tools that we have in existence?